We're getting a fresh look at the true cost of the 43-day lockout. Joining us now is NBC's Alice Barr in Washington, D.C. And Alice, 6 weeks long, the shutdown cost us a pretty penny, huh?
It did. The Council of Economic Advisors is out with new estimates that the shutdown cost the U.S. economy about $15 billion a week. And because of that overall economic cost, the council also estimates there were 60,000 non-federal employees who lost their jobs. And that's in addition to, the furloughs and all of those hundreds of thousands of federal workers who went without pay, either because they were stuck at home or because they were working as essential workers but not getting paid. And now gradually their pay is going to start to roll out, that back pay, starting tomorrow and going through early next week. That's when federal or Trump administration officials are expecting that they're going to start getting those 6 weeks of back pay that have been owed back to all the federal workers.
Yeah, plenty of workers coming back to the office and they want that back pay, but some TSA workers got a little bit of a bonus too, right?
They did, yeah. So that's some good news because TSA workers, air traffic controllers, they were so much at the heart of what we've been talking about throughout this shutdown because staffing shortages there are felt so acutely. You need a certain number of people in order for Americans to be able to fly safely. So the Director of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, handed out $10,000 bonus checks to TSA workers who had come in throughout the entire shutdown. She said these were people who came to work every day, who took on extra shifts, who stepped up and did what needed to be done in order to ensure that the airlines could keep flying, that people could keep going through the airports. And President Trump has spoken about giving those same kind of bonuses to all the air traffic controllers who also worked without pay consistently throughout the shutdown. It's not exactly clear how many of these bonuses will be handed out in either area for controllers or for the TSA officers, but Kristi Noem said that this was for people who went above and beyond.
All right. The shutdown really put a spotlight on the importance of food pantries, and even though the U.S. is back open, there's still a high demand for the assistance.
That's absolutely the case because we saw those SNAP low-income food benefits disrupted throughout the month of November. And in fact, people who count on those, 42 million Americans who count on those SNAP benefits, are still waiting for the full benefits to come through, though they have started to come through, we should say, today. And the head of the Agriculture Department, the Agriculture Secretary, said that the expectation is that states will be able to, the money comes down from the federal government, goes to states to then reload those SNAP cards. That this is state by state dependent how quickly they can get ramped back up, depending on how much they had shut down or prepared to be able to kind of be nimbly reopened, that those benefits should be going out today. And she said Monday at the latest. But over the course of the past 6 weeks, we saw how many people had to go to a food pantry because either they were not getting their SNAP benefits, they were delayed for a while, and then they were reduced down to 60% of what normally people had been counting on. Either that or just people who were federal workers who there was a lot of discussion at food banks about how a lot of people in line had never had to be in line at a food bank before, but they weren't getting paid. And it all put kind of a fine point on how precarious the economic situation is for so many people who live paycheck to paycheck. And we are heading into somewhat shakier times. There are a few indicators, in the housing market, for instance, that are indicating maybe, there's signs of trouble in terms of the economy. And it just reminds us how close people are and how important those community resources are that can help people bridge the gap whenever they might fall in hard times.
Absolutely. Alice Barr, thanks so much for joining us this morning.